sat in front of your fabric stash, stared at it for 15 minutes, then walked away and, I don't know, alphabetized your spice rack or something instead. Yeah, that's not laziness. That, I think, is what I would call creative overwhelm. And man, do I feel it really, really deep sometimes. Hey, friends, welcome to Loose Threads and Stitches. I am Christen, your fabric loving, sometimes frozen, often overthinking host. This is the first episode in our Get Out of Your Own Way mindset series because let's be honest, sometimes the biggest thing standing between us and the joy of creativity and making things is us. New episodes are going to drop every single week, so be sure to follow this podcast. Make sure you follow me on YouTube as well so that we can keep working through this together stitch by stitch. Okay, real talk moment here. You are not lazy. Let's go ahead and let's break up with that word. Lazy. Ugh. It's a label. I'm going to guess that what you're feeling more so is kind of a cocktail of burnout, decision fatigue, and emotional backlog with a splash of the world's on fire and I forgot to pre-wash my fabric thrown in there. Okay. So story time. I had a quilt top pinned to my design wall for like 6 weeks. It's happened before. Yeah, it's happened before. It stares at me like it knew that I was avoiding it. And side note, I only have one design board in my sewing room. Okay, I only have one design board. So every time that I passed this design board, I didn't feel inspired. Okay, I felt guilty because I was in a season of my life where things were just so busy. And, it turns out, big surprise here, guilt is not a good motivator for me. Okay, it's a mood killer and it's not what creativity needs to grow. I hear this all the time. I've just lost my mojo. I don't feel creative anymore, Christen. How do I get my passion back? I don't feel like I have it anymore. Most of the time when people are asking this, they're looking for like a magic pill, a productivity hack, a Pinterest board that solves all of their problems. I'm one of those guilty souls as well. Okay, like give me a system, give me a checklist and like I will dive into it. But losing your spark is rarely about the spark itself. It's about the soil, which is your creative environment, your inner critic, the stories that you're telling yourself about what making is supposed to look like, what you're doing wrong, why it's not looking the way that you want it to look like. The truth is, you didn't lose your spark. It's still in you. That creative gene, those creative parts of you are still in you. It's just buried under stress, is buried under self-judgment, is buried under too many dirty dishes, it's buried under a calendar that doesn't have a blank day on it as far as the eye can see, right? So what's actually going on here, right? Let's zoom out. It isn't about motivation. It isn't about emotional bandwidth. We can't keep asking ourselves to pour out creativity from an empty, overstimulated brain that hasn't rested since 2019. Do you feel me on this, quilters? Do you feel me? Okay, so let's reframe it. What if the block in creativity isn't a failure, but a signal? A signal that you need nurturing, not hustling. What if getting out of your own way starts with getting on your own side? Sometimes I don't want to quilt. Sometimes I just want to sit on the couch and scroll on my phone and look at Pinterest. I want to silently stew in a pile of abandoned fat quarters and just pet them for a while. But instead of spiraling, I've learned to just pause and ask myself, what do I actually need right now? And as busy as things are, and I'm just in that season right now where things are just like crazy busy. It's summertime. The kids are, schedule is just a fun word that like means I have no control over anything right now, right? And when I ask myself, what do I actually need right now? It's rarely that I come up with motivation because Like I said, guilt is not a good motivator for me. I don't really need motivation. What I normally need when I'm feeling this way is rest or permission to just chill for a little bit, to not guilt myself into feeling like I have this whole room that is dedicated to my passion, my quilting. I have all of this fabric, I have these patterns that I've invested in, and that's a lot of pressure, right? So you don't have to add that pressure on top of everything else that's going on in your life right now. You can give yourself permission to just make one thing badly on purpose, to not have to worry about the finer little details and every single quarter-inch seam and everything being perfect. You can just create because you feel like creating something, or you can just rest because you feel like resting. So let's move on to redefining progress. I want you to know that thinking counts as progress. Staring into a void of nothingness can count as progress. Even refolding fabric counts as progress if it reconnects you to what you love. Progress isn't just finished projects. It's touching the work again. It's laughing at your own bad block and saying, well, at least I tried, right? It didn't turn out the way I hoped it would, or maybe I totally misread the directions, but at least I tried, right? So instead of saying, I have to finish this, try saying, I'm going to spend 10 minutes with my fabric. And then at the end of that 10 minutes, we will reevaluate, okay? That small shift often opens the door, at least for myself, for me to not try quite so hard, okay? Like, I can do 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be 10 great minutes. It could be 10 really, really poor minutes, but it's 10 minutes, right? Okay, so how do you begin again without the pressure? Set a 15-minute timer or a 10-minute timer like we talked about before. Make something silly. Grab your scraps and just start sewing them together impromptu and see what happens, okay? Do something just for you. It doesn't have to be, well, I know that so-and-so at work is having a baby, I should make her a baby quilt. Nah, it doesn't have to be something like that. If you're just starting, make something just for yourself. You can create a no-pressure ritual that is just you, some tea, some thread, a particular playlist, or even like binging some YouTube videos that you've been having in your like watch later playlist, right? And just piecing some fabric together. I want you to leave the should do's at the door, okay? This isn't about finishing, it's about returning to something that you know in your heart that you love. And hey, if you need a community where this kind of like finding your spark journey is normal and like the ebbs and flow of just regular life and creativity is normal, come peek inside the Stitch Sister Inner Circle. We talk about this stuff all the time. We cheer each other on. We spend time being each other's cheerleaders, and we absolutely celebrate when somebody picks up a work in progress after 6 months, okay? There's no magic pills in this creative world, in the quilting world. It's just real people who get what it is to be a quilter and be a normal human being, okay? So getting out of your own way doesn't start with hustle. It starts with softness, with letting go of timelines, turning in to your creative rhythm and trusting that that spark is still there. She just needs to feel safe again. So takeaway truth, you're not lazy, you're healing. You're tired, you're full of unmade art. I want you to be kind to that person that is still inside you. That little child that just wants to create to see what happens, right? That teeny little artist that's inside all of us. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day today. Please subscribe to this podcast and find me in my YouTube videos so that you don't miss part 2. Next week, we're going to be tackling perfectionism and how it just loves to wear, I'm just trying to do my best disguise. Yeah. It's going to be a fun one. So until then, take a breath, go pet your fabric, and I will see you next week. I'm Christen with ICStarsQuilting.com. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.